A gentleman by the name of Norvort said, how about the 965 versus the 104, as they're mildly similar? And he mentions self-noise and tone. Why not? But I thought, well, from my experience of them, the perhaps the more appropriate comparison would be between the Sennheiser and the 104 Plus. The reason being that I know the Sennheiser goes quite low. I know the Sennheiser goes quite low. And I know the 104 doesn't. But the 104 Plus goes lower. However, I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll go between the Sennheiser and the 104 Plus, and I'll set the Sennheiser to cardioid. Both of these are cardioid. The Sennheiser, you have an option of cardioid or hypercardioid, supercardioid. But also under here, under the hood, you have a little switch. That's where you set the polar pattern. But you have a little switch that will attenuate the bass. As far as I know, these are identical apart from, I assume in the electronics, this one being allowed to go lower or boosted, I'm not sure which, whatever, has a better or a fuller bass response. But I believe the mechanics and the construction are the same. I believe that's an electronic thing, I believe. This one has a switch which attenuates the low end. Of course, all of that can be done on the desk. Many desks I know of, so I don't know. Before I do that, though, I thought we'd have a look under the hood. A look in the hood. I'm very pleased that for the moment, the pain in the neck of my desk is no longer there, having sprayed it. Oh, that sounds like a chipmunk. I think I'm going to zoom in, give you a look. Occurred to me, aren't I the lucky one, surrounded by 4 beauties, no? Mm-hmm. Under the hood here then, I might as well do the setting now. You've seen this before if you've seen my review of this particular microphone. And let me see. So it's flat at the moment, as it would be for me. And there's also a pad dB switch. I don't know if you can see. And here is the polar pattern switch. So I've got it on hypercardioid, I'd imagine I have. So I'm going to put it to... No, I haven't. There you go. Oh well, it was on cardioid already. So now I've just checked and confirmed that it is. There we go, all nicely done. A little bit of suspension there. And I believe it's a 1-inch diaphragm. So a large diaphragm. That's ready to go then. Have a quick look under the 104 Plus. Smaller diaphragm. And no fiddling about to be done. No. Oh, there is. I was going to say no observable suspension. I never thought there was, but I thought maybe it was internal. But no, there, look. As you can see. Yeah. Okay. Foam. As with the Sennheiser. I suppose to be thorough, I'll just check the 104 in case I'm wrong. Looks to me to be the same. As I say, I suspect the difference is in the amplifier or preamplifier. All right. What does Neumann say about the 104 and the 104 Plus? Bearing in mind what I've just said, that they're very similar. Studio quality, condenser cardioid, transparent with a gentle lift, and the 104 Plus, enhanced bass response. What does Sennheiser say? High-end flagship with the sensitivity of a studio condenser. Now, something I found interesting. I've mentioned before about the elegant Sennheiser, but the price seemed to have dropped considerably. And then someone reminded me, oh, you guys in the UK, you've come out of the EU, so the price you're looking at was without VAT. Even so, I got a feeling it was cheaper, but I just thought, oh, okay, that's silly me. That's what it is. Anyway, I went to have a little look today just before doing this, and I see there's a shop called Anton. Some of you may be aware of it. It does guitar, all sorts of music stuff in Guildford, not too far away from where I am. And I looked, and lo and behold, Anderton said 278 for this. I think I paid knocking on 400. They said 278. I think it was pretty good. And for the 104s, 529. 529. I think I paid 300 and something. Some time ago, of course. So quite a... I looked on the Sennheiser website, and they've got this listed for 349. So bear that in mind. 278. Anyway, let's get down to it. I'm on the Earthworks, going straight to the Sennheiser. See what I notice immediately. Because I want to see what I notice immediately. Because I want to see what I notice immediately. I want to see what I notice immediately. I want to see what I notice immediately. I notice that. I want to see what I notice immediately. Back to the Earthworks. I want to see what I notice immediately. An enhancement there on my voice. An enhancement there on my voice. The top smooth, as I've said before, kind of elegant. Not as fast, but I wouldn't expect it to be. Not as fast. It's got that 1 inch slow. I've said before, I've looked in the review before. A condenser, yes, and a little bit old school and just very nice. Is it not? On my voice anyway. Okay. Oh, noise. Now. Remind me to do the noise later because I'm going to have to adjust my settings because I did when I reviewed this thing. Of course, there's a laptop with a fan. I would say compared to the Earthworks, there's no difference. The Earthworks reveals the detail of the fan noise more because it's faster. For what I heard with this one, I can adjust this actually a bit because I know where that is. I think I heard hum before. I know where it is, the same as the others, so I can just whack that up a bit. Put it back. To be honest with you, it's a live... I don't notice anything. There's noise and you can hear the neighbours and all the rest of it. It is a live mic, so I don't hear anything objectionable. If we were in silence and so we might maybe... I don't know, but I don't hear anything objectionable. So for a live mic, for sure. Even if this were a studio setting. That's this one then. Back on the Earthworks. And then I'm going to go to the 104 Plus and see what I notice immediately. I'm going to go to the 104 Plus and see what I notice immediately. I'm going to go to the 104 Plus and see what I notice immediately. I'm on the 104 Plus and what do I notice immediately? I'm on the 104 Plus and what do I notice immediately? Compared to the Earthworks, I immediately notice that it's shut in. And in my memory, there isn't the of the Sennheiser, but I'm going to go between them later. So just compared to the Earthworks, it's nice enough, not as detailed. Back on the Earthworks, which I'm not really using as a reference, but I have to use something as a reference, otherwise we don't know where we are. Yeah, so there I am. So I'm going to go to the 104 Plus and see what I notice immediately. I'm on the 104 Plus. I'm on a little bit of that. I'm on the 104 Plus. The top end is everything. It's nice. I like it. Let me bring it a bit closer. It gets a bit muddy when I bring it a bit closer. Does this get muddy when I bring it a bit closer? Does this get muddy when I bring it a bit closer? I don't think so, not as much. 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 I want to turn this one up a bit. I'm going to. Yeah, without the crackles at the moment because I've sprayed the desk. Lord have mercy, you don't know what a difference it makes. Sorry to keep going on. What a difference it makes, just things work. Yeah, things work. 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 I think the Neumann, the Earthworks is a bit louder, so I'm creeping it down. Things work. Things work. Things work. Things work. Things work. Things. 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 Nice enough. Smooth enough. Little bit in there. In there. But it's nice enough, isn't it? Back on the Earthworks, I'm going to go to the 104, which is a bit pointless perhaps compared to that. We might as well, and then I can crack on with the real things. Where am I? What do I notice with the 104 immediately? What do I notice with 104 immediately? Yes, not so much in the bass end, which leaves some of that a bit more exposed and a little bit on my voice, I feel. I don't know. Let's go between them all then. 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 This is the Neumann 104. This is the Neumann 104 plus. This is the Neumann 104 plus. This is the Neumann 104, so you can hear there's just that bit but when I say just that bit a bit muddy when I say just that bit but if I'm doing that fills it in nicely Sennheiser Sennheiser yeah, works nicely again on that, and when I speak gets a little but if I this one's got more in that range, I feel. Let's get rid of the 104 because I'm just go between these two now. You can hear already, I talk about that speed thing. You can hear that that's a representation, really. You can't really hear into it, even without any comparison. I can start to hear that now, but it sounds nice, doesn't it, I find. Neumann. Yeah, the Sennheiser, 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 not the Sennheiser, not the Sennheiser, not the Sennheiser, not the Sennheiser, the Sennheiser, the Sennheiser, the Sennheiser. Sennheiser's got a bit more, I feel. Quite similar though, actually, well spotted. I've forgotten what your name is. Norvarot. Well spotted, similar. 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 Well spot. Round about there. This one's got more push. The Sennheiser. Sennheiser. Is it that you can hear much more on the Neumann? Is that because the bass isn't there quite so much? Let's sort that out. Bass cut. Aha. Wow. Try and make sense of all that. Could you hear the difference in the different frequencies? Put all that together. Put the bass back in for both. Put the bass back in for. Put the bass back in for both. 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 Through that I can still hear that lower. Let me just check. Yeah, so for doing stuff like that, not that you're going to do stuff like that really, are you? Well, you might. But for doing stuff like that, the Sennheiser's just bolder, isn't it? That's why I'm checking that I've not got anything else going on. I haven't. Difficult to say what it is. It's got more poof down there. As far as I can tell, it's going to make sense. The top end just sounds a bit more liquid. What use is that to you? You have to use your own ears and decide for yourself. Okay, that's enough of that. What am I doing? Well, I'll cut the bass off on this mic, the Sennheiser, even though you can do it on the desk, but it's different. I don't know about all this kind of stuff. I mean, you can do it on the desk with a switch just to cut, and you can do it on the desk with the bass control, and if you've got the sweep, you can decide where to cut it. They've decided where they're going to cut it. For what? Whose voice? Or is it simply for handling noise? I don't know. What shape is it? What frequency? And why? I don't know. And do all these switches, are they going to be reliable? I wonder sometimes. Or are they going to start needing spraying and all sorts of other stuff? Who knows? It's been reliable so far. So what I'm doing, I'm cutting, so I can see it there. It doesn't say on this. It says somewhere. You're going to have to look it up, I'm afraid, what the frequency is that it cuts. But so now I'm going to get rid of the plus. And we've got, make sure, the 104 and the Sennheiser with the bass cut. This is 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 the Sennheiser. Somehow it just leaves that more revealed. It's still got a fair bit of weight in there. And here's what the desk cut on top of the cut there. Yeah, it crisps it up a bit, doesn't it? Cleans it up a bit. Maybe you'd say cleans it up a bit, but depending on how you use it, if you're clumsy with it, then you could use, all right, I can see. It's been very carefully done, it seems to me. So I've just, from all that rabbiting I was going on, close to ranting. There we go, you've got to be careful. And be careful before you rant, because you could be, you may have to eat your own words to some extent. Yeah, I'm going to put a bit more bass cut on here. Putting a bit more bass cut on here, a bit more bass cut on here, makes it sound here, here. So it's still got a little bit of that. Let's go now then to the 104. Here. This is 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 the Sennheiser. Here. This is the Sennheiser. Here. This is the Sen. This is the Sen. This is the Sen. This is the Sen. This is not 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 the Sen. This is the Sen. This is the Sen. Sen's nice. This is the Sen. Again, but I'm saying that because the tops are fairly similar. It's that even though the bass is cut on it, this is the Sen. This is the Sen. This is the Sen. This is the Sen. This is not the Sen. This is not the Sen. This is not the. I'm thinking. Well, again, similar. So there you go. I'm thinking the Sennheiser's clearer. I wouldn't particularly have imagined that. I wouldn't particularly have imagined that because it's got a bigger diaphragm. I wouldn't particularly have imagined that because it's got a bigger diaphragm. I wouldn't particularly, I wouldn't, 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 I wouldn't, wouldn't, wouldn't. It just sounds more open. It just sounds more open. It just sounds more open. It doesn't sound as open. It just sounds a bit more shut in. A bit more shut in. Yeah. There you go. So, I suppose to finish off, Pops and Polar. I'll just use these two as they are. Make sure the desk is flat. Yeah. Sennheiser on the cardioid switch, Sennheiser on the cardioid setting, Sennheiser on the cardioid setting, woohoo! Sennheiser on the cardioid setting, 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 Sennheiser on the cardioid setting. Fairly even sounding as well across its any movement there, quite consistent in terms of its sound and good rejection. This is the Neumann coming round to the side on the Neumann, coming round to the side on the Neumann. Good rejection there. Yes, indeed, good rejection coming round to the back there. Coming very good at the back there as well. Possibly slightly better than the Sennheiser. I don't know. They're much of a muchness really, I think. And again, fairly even in the terms of the sound there. What's it like when it's there? Does it keep the bass when it's there? Does it keep the bass when it's there? Does it keep the bass very even there as well? Starting to get, you can hear that there. There again, bring it close, very even. Coming closer, coming right up. So I suppose if you were the kind of singer that just kept the mic right up to your lips, not having the bass on this would prevent some of the bloof. Oh, yeah. Well, the Sennheiser with the bass switch, the handling noise is very good. Very good on the low end, a little bit of that upper stuff going on there. There you go then. I've reviewed all of these individually. I've used all of them on the covers. Sorry, it's all a bit of a mess on my channel. But I don't know what it's like to search for things I haven't tried. haven't tried myself. Thank Christ Almighty. You come up with shoes and all sorts. And some nice lenses, if you're into that kind of thing. But I think they're in play. They are in playlists, unless I made a mistake. That's what I try. That's what I do. So hopefully you'll be able to search. I might have a go actually with just the across the channel, just the obviously 104 plus. I'm sure it comes up. So I've done all of them. I've used all of them on covers, singing with them. I've reviewed all of them individually, and there are various quick comparisons like this in which they're in. If I'm going to sum up, which I don't particularly, well, for me, because of the low end stuff, I would go for this. I'm quite impressed with the, I like the sound of it. It's a little bit old school, but then none of them are athletes like the Earthworks stuff. None of them. What's it called when you, can't remember, there's a word. So none of them are that. So a little bit, as I said in my review, this a little bit old school, but very, very nice. And you've got those switches, okay. Presumably they'll be reliable. For me, I just seem to leave them set with flat and full, and I thought super cardioid, but it was on cardioid, so I don't know if I'd switched that and forgotten. But anyway, so you have got that advantage, perhaps. Maybe there might be the pendant, if a bad system, maybe it'd be useful to have that. I don't know. I just lean towards this, but take no notice really. Listen to what I've said. I don't know. I don't really know. Just one of those things. Hope you're all well. And that's it. Till next time. Au revoir.